Hey guys, Marsingin here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so today we are going to be taking a look at STR Gogeta with his pre-10th anniversary temporary buff and see how good he is going to be on the 200% Movie Heroes team. Normally we would float this guy off, right? The normal strategy is to float him off on turn 1, so that he gets the dodge chance, and then he comes back on turn 4, instantly transforms. But I want to keep him around for a while and see like what we can actually get out of him. So we're going to keep him here. Obviously he doesn't get that extra dodge chance in slot 2. So I'm hoping he isn't going to get supered by Trunks. But I do have Proton's tweet up again here. We talked about yesterday of Gohan and Cell, the actual list of the buffs that these characters are getting. So Gogeta in base is getting 400% extra attack, 600% extra defense, and super effective against all types, which I think he just gets anyway, doesn't he, once he transforms, which is funny. So he's at 575k start of turn. Let's see, we get additional attack with a great chance to become a super for in slot 2. 100% defense when attacking. So that's pretty good, because it's 100% when attacking buff, which means he does go up to over 1 million defense after attacking. And then his super attack effects, he is raising his defense as well. So he's going to have pretty high defense on this turn. Damn, Gamma 1 not getting the super nullification against Videl this time. Or super counter it is, actually. Gamma 1 on the team just for some support. Got some of the other Gogeta like units just for the links. But yeah, let's see what this man can do here. Turn 1. So 15 million for the first attack. I mean, bearing in mind the fact that the usual way you use them is for the base to kind of be something that you don't really see very often. 14 million into just under 10 here. Pretty decent. And we get hidden potential additional normal. Okay, so tanks for double digits against the normals, which is good. And then Tech Goku for Vegeta, I mean, we know how good they are. They're at 13 million here. Just trying to get rid of Goten first, because he can hit the hardest out of all of these guys. So try and get rid of him first. But yeah, by not floating him off, obviously it means we will get a second turn of him in base, because he transforms on his 4th turn. So if you keep him on rotation, obviously he'll be back on turn 3. I've got God Goku around for the God links more than anything else. Let's make sure I save 6 orbs for God Goku. My God Goku can't necessarily crit as much. My God Goku doesn't have a lot of crit, so just go ahead and do this. Yeah, it's a bit odd they gave him effective against all types when in blue he has it anyway, but I think it's just because it's like a blanket buff, right? They gave all of the units effective against all types. But it is kind of silly because he doesn't need it, because he already has it. Well, I mean, he has it when he transforms, so at least he has it in base now as well, but because yeah, effective against all types, definitely a useful buff to have, right? Like we talk about in some of these runs in tougher events sometimes. We talk about just how much like damage you get knocked off by not critting against type disadvantage. Like if you don't have effective against all types. Like, you do such little damage when you have type disadvantage. So effective against all types is a cool thing to throw on all of those units. Of course, they gave the 3 and 4 year units guaranteed crits, which is better, but because obviously you can do both. You can be effective against all types and crit, and that still does more damage. But yeah, Gogeta does get more attack. Because once we transform into blue, the numbers that we're getting buff-wise do go down. But obviously the units, once they've transformed, are more powerful. And the thing is, this is what we talked about a little bit before. When I talked about when these units were going to get their buffs and we didn't know what they were. And people were saying, you know, don't expect the buffs to be as high as they are for the 3 and 4 years. Because obviously these guys have higher stats and everything already anyway. I think somebody posted a thing that was saying that, like, if they had the exact same buffs, like stat-wise, they would be at like 2 million defense start of turn, like turn 1. Which is obviously not the kind of numbers that Dokkan's going to go to with these guys, especially not like for free, essentially. But yeah, it's more so the fact that the numbers, just the raw numbers that they're getting extra, isn't necessarily the most important thing. It's the fact that they have these other mechanics as well, right? Like having the extra, having that dodge chance in slot 3, and then the turn where they transform, they have 100% chance to dodge. Like, that's a very powerful ability, especially going with the normal strategy, like we say, where normally when you play these guys, you would put them in slot 3 on their first turn. They can get a dodge in there, get floated off, come back, and then transform. And then on that turn 4, you could then just go ahead and put them in the slot with the most attacks. And then, yeah, they just dodged them all. So we get some extra links here with this Gogeta. So it's 16.7 here. And we've got effective against all types, so it doesn't matter that Trunks is AGL. These guys do have a lot of HP though. But yeah, the additional super being basically 11 million here. And then physical Gogeta can potentially finish off for now. This turn. So he should get a few attacks off. It's going to be close. Yeah, no counters for Gamma 1 this time. I think it was the when I was in the Gohan showcase, I had him on the team, so we had an android ally, and he countered her super like 2 turns in a row. Transform with you. Just get as many Gogetas on the go as we can here. Just get every Gogeta out. Get rid of Videl. Trunks still has a decent amount of HP, but we've got Tech Gogeta out here now as well, so plus we've got the physical trio on this turn, giving out the giving the extra defense to everybody for the 77% for 2 turns. I forget they lower attack on their additionals. 25 million for Tech Gogeta. Tech Gogeta is so crazy. He's one of those characters just like Tech UI, where it's like, if he was just Tech Gogeta straight away, he would probably be the best unit in the game. Because of everything that he does. And I mean, like, the base Goku and Vegeta definitely aren't bad, but... Alright, so we get the transformation with Gogeta. Get a few God Links active here. Yes, I suppose. Right, so now that we've transformed into blue, we obviously get guaranteed dodge on this first turn. We're only getting 200% attack now instead of 400. 400% defense instead of 600. We still get the super effective, which obviously he just has now anyway. I guess to be fair, he does get attacks effective against all types as the first or second attacker in the turn. So, I guess now at least with the buff, he's getting it if he's in slot 3 as well. Which, as I said before, like depending on what team you're using him on. And now that he has the permanent buff, you could get away with running him on main rotation more. But since the normal strategy is kind of to keep floating him around, being able to have the super effective in slot 3 as well is pretty cool. But, yeah, see, 12.6. It's interesting because I think I said the same thing really with like Cell and Gohan, where it's like when we saw the buffed, maybe it's just because they were older and obviously so much worse, but like when we saw the buffed Super Saiyan 4s and like the 3 years in action, it's like, damn, they're hitting some crazy numbers now. Whereas these guys, I don't know, they don't seem to be as, I guess it's because, like I say, they have all these other mechanics. Like Gogeta only getting the 200% attack, right? Like the Super Saiyan 4s or even like the 3-year LRs, when we ran them on a 200% team, like they're hitting like 25, 26 million attack stats. Gogeta doing like 14 or like 16. But then he's got built-in additional attacks, effective against all types. Obviously on this turn he has guaranteed dodge. He has an active skill that does damage. Like, he's got a lot of other mechanics and things that he does that I guess makes up for having slightly lower numbers overall, but get him floated off so you can have the 2 blue Gogetas together. Well, this is not ideal. Yeah, I was kind of expecting to be like as blown away by these guys as I was by the buffs to the 3 and 4 years. But like I say, it might be because those units are so old and obviously were basically unrunnable, whereas at least with the blue fusions you could get away with using them on some teams and some events still now because they have that dodge. Like slot 3, they're kind of relying on the dodge against these tougher bosses, and then of course they come back and have 100% dodge, and then depending on what the event is and how long it is, like you could be finished not long after that, so then there's not like a huge amount of opportunity for them to get caught out like once they've transformed into blue and after the guaranteed dodge turn. But with the 3 year and 4 years, it's like it had gotten to the point where you just couldn't use them anymore. So I guess it makes more of an impact that not only are they usable again, but they're hitting these big numbers. Yeah, just get the dodge on the super, nice. Because yeah, both Gogeta and Janemba have that extra chance to just dodge a super. 9.3. I'm going to finish him off here. Because Blue Gogeta will get at least 3 supers because we got the Rainbow Orbs. Yeah, in the 5 years, I said that in the thing the other day as well. I can't remember exactly what it was, like what event came out or something, but it felt like they aged really quickly, the 5 years. And then when they got their Easy A's and came back, then obviously they were super good. But yeah, so there we go, much better. So we got, I mean, he's at 1.2 million defense start of turn. That's pretty good. We have the active skill, which, I mean, we could just use it here, just so we can get it in the video, get to see it. How much damage is it going to do? It's still an awesome animation, though, for this active skill. So... $36 million crit. That's pretty good. And there's the little flick. Love to see that. Can't ask for stone. Wait, what stone? You can ask for dragon stones. You can do the dragon stones and box space in the wish. Yeah, I've just put the animations on, didn't I? Like I said, there's so many orbs. I want to transform with Goku here because he gives the defense for allies for 2 turns because of the based on how many physical orbs you pick up. But he changes int orbs to physical, and there are just so many orbs on the field right now. Yeah, so you can get 13 physical orbs, which is kind of crazy. Do that. At least we know they're not supering at the end, so God Goku should be okay even if he doesn't dodge some of those attacks. And of course standby Goku is basically invincible, so... Yeah, Tech Gogeta just doing Tech Gogeta-y things. I always liked his 12-key super animation. I know some people like really didn't like it when he first came out, but because he didn't have any like built-in additionals anyway, so you didn't get to see it like that often. But I've always thought his 12-key animation was pretty cool. Because it is not Dokkan original, but it's taken from... Is it from a Raging Blast anime? I can't remember where it's from, but... Alright, so... Let's just do that. Oh, the 3rd and 4th years because of Cell Max. Was it because of Cell Max that aged out the... Nah, Cell Max was out way after that. Right? Or am I just forgetting? Or are we talking about the Easy A's? Let's go ahead and grab these. 10 orbs for you. Full 24 key. Get Gogeta targeted so we don't have to worry about Gamma 1 in slot 1, although they didn't super anyway. Yeah, I mean Gogeta, look, don't get me wrong, with the buff, still obviously very impressive and, you know, a unit that is now very usable and is on a lot of very good teams. But, like I said, the numbers that we see are good, but they're not... See, this is more like it. I guess he has to get built up, doesn't he, to be fair. So 27 million. Effective against all types. Then we get the guaranteed additionals. The problem with Gogeta is when this happens and he just gets a bunch of additional normal attacks. And then, yeah, he didn't get the hidden potential. So that can be the biggest problem with him compared to Vegito, is you get that big super attack, and then he does 2 additional normals. And then that's your turn with him, which is... He can still do some okay damage, like, because his attack is so high at that point, he's got effective against all types. But, like, the normal attacks, you know, it's not like we're doing the equivalent of double digits to the enemy. But, I have a feeling that Vegito is still going to be putting out the most damage output, even considering he gets 100% less attack with these temporary buffs than the STR Gogeta. But, I mean, either way, he's very, very good. Solid defense, decent attack stats once he's built up. He still very much is an option for some of these teams where you could just throw him on slot 1 and be completely fine. I really wanted to pick up a bunch more orbs first. So, I mean, I guess I could do this. Then do this. Because yeah, that's the problem, is they can't go slot 1 after they've done that, so then I have to do this just to make sure we're not getting killed here. But yeah, we should finish off this phase. But yeah, I mean, Gogeta's on a lot of good teams. Like, if I bring up his... I did have his page open here for Dokkan info. If we look at his list, because he's on so many categories. So if we look at his list for 200% teams, he's on the STR Family Kamehameha Goku team, because obviously he's on Kamehameha. Tech UI, Beast Gohan, this Movie Heroes team, of course. The Saiyans Without Limits. We start to get into a bunch of older units, but it's like both the worldwide LRs for Geo Blue and Zamasu, physical Ulma Gohan and Orange Piccolo, because of course he's a superheroes character, Birdku, both the 7-year LRs, who obviously, you know, anticipations are very high that they're going to get their easy A's this year with the anniversary. Let's give Gogeta the Dokkan attack. Oh, this is going to be a dangerous turn. And then STR Dragon Fist Goku. So he's on a ton. Okay, well, Gamma 1's just going to get killed. I was really hoping we weren't going to get slot 1 supered here. But yeah, he's on a ton of 200% teams. So he's definitely going to be a useful unit to use again for some of these events and missions and stuff. Obviously, these guys getting the temporary buff now means that they don't have it for that long. Hey, he actually tanked that way better than I was expecting. So GG's, Gamma 1. Wasn't familiar with your game. But yeah, Gogeta at 24.6 here. Effective against all types. We've got 24 keys, so it's a guaranteed crit as well. Which, yeah, guaranteed crit and effective against all types on a 24 mil is pretty good. And hopefully we don't just get 2 additional normals. Well, there's 1. Hey, we actually got an additional super, 16.8. So that's pretty good. And then another one into 18. So these are the turns where he'll look really, really good. It's when you actually are getting the additional supers. Because, yeah, that's a lot of damage. But, yeah, let me know what you guys think of Gogeta down below in the comment section. We'll check out Vegito next as well. Like I say, I have a feeling that even with the slightly lower attack, because he can do so many extra supers, has the potential to have that little bit higher damage output. But he is definitely looking like a solid unit. Be very useful for a bunch of teams. Hopefully sooner rather than later we will get the announcements for like Jiren and the other Blue Zone stages, so that we can try this guy out. Because some of these new units, like, I just really want to see how good or how fun they're going to be for the Goku and Frieza fight. So I guess we'll have to see. But let me know what you guys think of Gogeta and his buffs down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Master Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.